Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good whatever time it is where you are. I am looking at PrepTest 4, which I guess should be the February 1992 LSAT. Should I check that? Yeah, February 1992. Looking at the February 1992 LSAT, PrepTest 4, continuing our march through all the games I can get my hands on. We have done 12 of them so far. You can check those out. I'm sure I'll put the link in the description or something. Look around. You can find it. Let's jump right in. I'm looking at the setup here. Questions 1 through 6. A law firm has exactly 9 partners, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, and N. And I have different arrangements of their salaries, greater than, greater than, greater than. And as I look at the questions, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a range game. So remember, we've done, I think, a couple of these so far. Tree branch diagram is what we're going to set up here. Anytime we have only range clues, we want to set up this special kind of diagram. So let's see. First of all, our list of elements, we're looking at F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, and N. And then what are the clues we get? K's salary is greater than both I and L. So K before I, K before L. L's salary is greater than N. L before N. I's salary is greater than Fox's. I dot 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 F. Fox's salary is greater than Malloy's. F dot 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 M. It'd be a lot easier if they would just say the whole thing's alphabetical, right? But presumably it's not. M is greater than G. M dot 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 G. G's salary is greater than J's. G dot 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 J. And J's salary is greater than H's. J dot 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 H. So they don't always do this, particularly nowadays. Again, this game is, 30 years old. But you can see it roughly goes in order, right? We start K to I, K to L, L to N, I to F, F to M, M to G, G to J, J to H, right? So H clearly is going to go toward the end. K is clearly going to go toward the beginning. For our diagram, that's exactly what we want to start to set up. Let's just put K at the beginning, and then we're just going to start building our branches, right? This is why we call it a tree branch diagram. So K is before I and L. L is before N. So I'm just ticking these off as I go. I is before F. F is before M. M is before G. G is before J, and J is before H. So in this case, I just get 2 long branches. One thing you want to keep in mind is what could go first or last. In this particular game, K is definitely first. That's all 9 of my elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And so since K is in front of all of the other 8, for sure K is going to go first. Only H or N can go last. Remember, these branches can stretch or contract as much as we need them to. We just can't break the branches. We can't put H in front of J, for example. H could definitely be last. N could be last. L could go anywhere kind of in the middle. And then I, F, M, G, J, we just have to be careful to keep in that particular order. Again, if we were building a normal order diagram here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, there would be tons of deductions. M, for example, can't go 7, 8, or 9, so we would put M can't go 7, M can't go 8, etc. I can only go 2 or 3. Of course, K goes in front of I, and then I could be second, but then L could move in that little space between K and I, so I could be pushed back as late as third. Actually, now that I think about it, N could also be pushed into that space, so I could actually go as late as fourth. But again, we really don't need to worry about those kinds of deductions. That's the point of the diagram. It kind of does all those deductions for us, so we're just going to jump into the questions right away. I'm not seeing kind of that first general question we want. That just has a possible order of all the elements, and so I'm going to skip over the general question, number 1, and I'm going to go to the specific question, number 2. Oh, wait. If M and N earn the same salary? Ooh, okay. I didn't even think about greater than, less than, or equal to, so that's a little tricky. If M and N earn exactly the same salary, it's going to have to be something like K, some combination of I, L, and F in between them, M and N at the same salary, and then, again, G, J, and H in that order for sure in those last 3 spaces. So at least how many of the partners must have lower salaries than Lopez? Well, for sure, N has a lower salary than Lopez. So in this case, so does M, and that would be 5 partners, right? M, N, G, J, and H. Technically, any of I, L, F could be at the same level, I guess. How many of the partners must have? Yeah, it's only people who must have a lower salary. So yeah, that's going to be answer choice C, 5. All right, moving on to number 4. If N's salary is the same as that of one other partner of the firm, which one of the following must be false? A couple interesting things about this question. First of all, that's what happened on number 2, right? M and N were supposed to have the same salary. So I should be able to refer to this diagram for number 4. And then the other thing to say, N can be the same as everyone other than L and K in this case. And so I'm thinking probably this answer is going to end up having something to do with either K or L, because they have to have a salary greater than N, but N can be equal to anybody else on the list. Finally, this is a must be false, so anything that could be true, I actually want to eliminate. So I'm just going to ask, could it be true? And if it can, I eliminate it. I's salary is less than Lopez. Could that be true? Well, yeah, because Lopez can kind of move around anywhere we want, so that's definitely possible. And also, looking here at the diagram for number 2, I can see I, L, and F were in this group where L could move around pretty much any way we wanted. They could be equal to each other, greater than, less than. L can go anywhere within that set. And so that's a could be true. Cross off A. J's salary is less than L's. Now that's a little tricky. Does not look like it was possible on number 2, but again, it didn't have to be the case, or rather, it doesn't have to be the case for number 4 that it's M and N that are the same. So could I push J all the way after L? Oh, wait, that's easy. Yeah, J is less than L. Never mind, that does match up with number 2, so for sure, cross off B. L's salary is less than F. Yeah, for sure, that's possible. Again, you have that ILF group from number 2 that we can move around, so I can cross that off. L's salary is less than H's. Now, this I don't believe is possible. Yeah, because if we wanted to take this branch and fit it all the way here after H, that would mean that N is going to get paid less than anyone at the firm, which would mean, of course, that N cannot have the same salary as anyone else, which is what number 4 said, right? So D is your must be false. I believe number 6 is maybe also a specific question. Assume that the partners of the firm are ranked according to their salaries from 1st to 9th. That's not nice. And that no 2 salaries are the same. Okay, so now we're getting the traditional interpretation of a range game. Which one of the following is a complete and accurate list of G's possible ranks? Well, G can't possibly go 8th or 9th. So anything where 8 and 9 is on the list I can get rid of. So I can cross off E. But in the same way, G can't go 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. The earliest G could go would be 5th, but I do think 5th, 6th, or 7th will work. I don't see any reason after 1, 2, 3, 4 we can't put G in some particular place, because again, we can move this LN block anywhere we want to around G. And so I think the answer is going to be 5, 6, 7. So number 6 should be D. Continuing on with our general questions, let's take a look at number 1. Which one of the following partners cannot have the 3rd highest salary? So some things we'll want to keep in mind here. Obviously, on several of these questions, people have had the same salary as others. So 3rd highest doesn't necessarily mean only the 3rd person. For example, you could imagine a scenario where K is 1st, I is 2nd, and then L and F both have the 3rd highest salary. So we just want to watch out for that. But otherwise, we just want to kind of count up and see who can be 3rd. So A, can Fox have the 3rd highest salary? Well, for sure. That's what we just talked about, right? Could be K1, I2, and then F would be 3 in that scenario. Could I have the 3rd highest salary? I think so. We could go 1, 2, 3 with L 2nd and then I 3rd. Could L have the 3rd highest salary? Again, same situation, right? Could go 1, 2, 3, just have I go 2nd instead of L. So that definitely seems possible. Could Malloy have the 3rd highest salary? I don't think so. Because even, like again, all of these clues are greater than clues. This person's salary is greater than that person's. So 1, 2, 3, 4 seems like the highest M could ever go. So I'm pretty sure that one's going to be D. Again, we want to be in a habit where once we've found the answer, we move on. We don't spend time on other stuff. If you were concerned for some reason, well, you can tell, yeah, N can definitely have the third highest salary. We would just go right down that branch, right? 1, 2, 3 for KLN. And so you can confidently cross off E and circle D. Moving on to number 3, the salary rankings of each of the 9 partners could be completely determined if which one of the following statements were true. I'm just going to guess it's going to have to say N is greater than I. Like, what we need here is some connection between the branches. I guess it could also say something like H is greater than L, because if it told us that, then again, it would connect the 2 branches. But I need some direct connection between those 2 branches. L's salary is greater than F's. Well, that doesn't tell me where N ends up going. Right, so A is no good. B, L's salary is greater than I's. Again, that's somewhat helpful. You can see there's some kind of connection between the 2 branches, but it doesn't help me with N, so that's no good. N's salary is greater than F. Now, this is interesting. If N is greater than F, we know almost everybody, right? But the problem is I don't end up knowing the exact order of K, I, and L. So no, C is no good. N's salary is greater than I's. Yes, that's the one, right? That's what I said a second ago. If we put N in front of I, then, we're done. We connect the 2 branches in a way that we know the exact rankings of everybody's salary. One more question here, number 5. What is the minimum number of different salaries earned by the 9 partners of the firm? Well, minimum, I have to have this long set of this person's greater than that person, etc. But then L and N, I could just kind of make match up with any of the people on that list, but I could just, other than K, but I could also just make a matchup with the first 2. So there have to be, what is that, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there have to be 7 different salaries, and so that's got to be C. Okay, answers. D, C, D, D, C, D. Symmetry. I love it. And we did it, right? D, C, D, D, C, D. Awesome. Well done to us. It's funny. I've never worked these games. I've worked a lot of games in my life, but I've never worked these particular prep test games. And again, these are very old. The principles are still helpful, but I would say it's just kind of funny that so many of these are ending up as range games because it's not this prevalent anymore. I think we've had 3 range games on the first 4 practice tests, 3 or 4, honestly, it might be a little bit more. And you don't see one range game every single game section anymore. But the principles there, again, apply. Useful diagram for sure. Order kinds of deductions, which we can apply to other order games, also helpful. And yeah, that's it. Once again, I am working through as many games as I can get my hands on, all of the prep test games and anything else I can work. And so if there's a game that you'd like me to move up in the rotation, if there's a game that you are having some problems with and you want me to take a look at, feel free to comment down below. Like and subscribe, do all the things that you're supposed to do, and I will see y'all next time. I hate that. And I will see y'all next time.